this wheel off, the front wheel is quite similar to the rear wheel in terms of how you get it off. It's slightly more complicated in a way because you've got the chain to contend with. I wouldn't say you need to remove the chain in order to get the wheel off, because you can just wiggle it around basically. With this bike, when it's on a stand, you need to be careful that this is not interfering with the rear sprocket. But again, 22mm nut on the end. Whiz that off. Save the spacer. And then you've got these bits which are for setting your chain tension. And then similarly, you can just start to pop it out. See, it starts to come out that end along with the spacer on that side. So just gonna use this punch and just start to drive it through. Again, there are spacers on the inside. You've got a spacer here which is part of the rear brake caliper assembly, so you need to make sure that doesn't drop off. And I think that side there isn't a spacer. I could be wrong, but anyway, keep an eye out for spacers, rogue spacers, when it comes off. So we'll just keep popping this out. Then when it starts to come out, because we've obviously greased it earlier, just give it a wiggle. There you go, there's that spacer we were talking about. So I generally like to put this back together as it was. So then you've got that on the inside there, and then that washer, and then the nut. You can put this to one side somewhere safe. Now you just got to contend with removing the wheel. On this you can generally move the whole caliper out of the way, which gives you enough space to push the bike forwards and just loop the chain off, and then with a bit of luck you can then pull the wheel out that way. And the handy thing about using the method where you've got the bit of wood on some jack stands right in the middle of the bike is that you can pivot it up and down. It's also why it's probably important to remember not to take off both wheels at the same time, because then when the front drops, that wheel won't catch it. So a good lesson. So yeah, pretty simple.